we talked about how it talks about how there's the Bolshevik Revolution, right? The October Revolution that actually happened in November, right? Based on the calendar discrepancies, okay? So going against the Gregorian and the Julian calendars. And so what happens is the provisional government that has been established up until this point, right? The Duma had been put in control once Tsar Nicholas abdicated and was taken out of control of Russia. The Bolsheviks kind of go in and they take over the government, right? In the October Revolution. And we remember that there's not much opposition to the Bolshevik takeover. Why? We talked about this yesterday. Why was there not a lot of opposition to the Bolshevik takeover of the provisional government?
Because this thing was not, sorry, the royal family were not in the palace at that time. And then Kerensky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kerensky.
Yeah, he was like there, but he wasn't so. And then the Duma, they weren't like support, and nobody supported them. And then Kerensky wasn't like so in power. So like the central government was a bit shaky.
Okay, good, right? So first off, the Bolsheviks didn't have as much power or support as they thought they had, right? Lenin didn't have as much as they thought. But also the provisional government didn't have a lot of support either, right? Because remember we talked about the people of Russia, and what were they just unsatisfied with in general? With their what? Whoever was in control, right? Their government. Okay, so they were upset with the Tsar. They get rid of the Tsar, the provisional government comes in. Are they happy with the provisional government?
No.
No, they're not happy with the provisional government. And so they're okay with the Bolsheviks taking over, because what do they think the Bolsheviks will do?
Make it better.
Good, make things better, right? Because remember guys, in Russia at this time, right, life is kind of terrible, okay? Specifically for peasants, right? Where are my peasants in the room?
Right here. Oh wait, that's my peasant, my bad.
Okay, you're a peasant. Heather's a peasant. Who else is a peasant?
Show yourselves.
Leanne, you're a peasant too, right? So your life kind of sucks right now, right? And workers, how is your lives going? Workers, that's you two, right? Who's the workers? No. How are your lives going, workers? Eh? Right? Not that great, okay? So, peasants and workers, right? They're saying, okay, maybe if, okay, aristocracy, we know that you have lots of money, okay? So for the peasants and the workers' middle class, things are a little rough, right? So they're just like, we need someone in here that's going to take over and do something to help us. And so we get the establishment of Lenin, and we get Lenin's Russia. Okay, guys? So which takes us into the next part. So, what we have is a Bolshevik dictatorship that gets established, all right? What ends up happening is when Lenin first comes into power, he actually tries a democracy, all right? Because that's what the people kind of want, right? You guys kind of mentioned that in your demands to the Tsar. You kind of mentioned like we'd kind of like a little bit of say at what's happening in Russia. So Lenin actually puts into place, or tries, a democracy. Okay, and what he does is he actually lets, oh no, sorry, this got cut off at the top, I'll fill it in for you. He actually lets the people elect their government. Okay? The result of that election to form kind of this new assembly that he was taking to put in place to rule of Russia was that top red line actually represents the Bolsheviks. Okay? Bolsheviks got 175 votes. Who got the most votes? Was it the Bolsheviks? She's just trying to say Bolsheviks. Okay? So, the Bolsheviks are represented by this red line here. The number that they actually had was 175. Okay, so Lenin allows the Russian population to vote for their assembly. Who's going to represent them? Okay? Thinking that they will choose who as the majority. Good. Him and his party, right? The Bolshevik party. So he's like, hey, I'm going to let them choose because they're probably going to elect us as the majority rule, right? What does this graph show us? Did they do that? No, right? Who got the majority rule in the assembly? Good. The Socialist Revolutionaries. Does anyone know who the Socialist Revolutionaries was mainly made up by? Want to take a guess? No, not Stalin. No, Stalin.
What's that guy that
The
got?
Duma.
No, not quite the Duma.
What's that guy that like decided to give the peasants land? Is that him?
No, but you're kind of getting closer to the group. Who is the largest group of people in Russia?
The revolution.
peasants?
Good, the peasants, okay? So, the socialist revolutionaries were actually like a large group of peasants, okay, who were looking for social reform. And so, they actually end up getting the majority vote. Why would they get the majority vote?
Because everyone's peasants.
Because, exactly, and they want change, so they're going to elect people from their groups to
try
enact
to
that
take over.
change, right? To try and change the government. And so, after this, then you have left social revolutionaries, the Mensheviks, and the 17. So, what you get is the Bolsheviks actually they win a minority government, right? So they're the minority seat. And the social revolutionaries get the most. How do you think Lenin feels about this?
Mad.
Not okay, mad, all right? So what ends up happening is he sends his Red Guards in, okay? And he basically just dismantles the Socialist Revolutionary Party.
Kills them all?
No, not quite. Kills them all, but basically just goes against them, right? To kind of dismantle it, and then
Should've just killed them
establishes a dictatorship, all right? A dictatorship would mean what?
Absolute power.
Good. Incomplete rule, absolute power, okay? So, Russia's democracy lasted about 24 hours. Okay guys, this happens in about a 24-hour span, where you have, Lenin allows this election to happen. It doesn't go the way he likes, and so he goes and closes down the assembly with his Red Guards, and then just takes power for himself. Okay? Very much in Lenin's style, which we're going to see. He did believe, now we'll give him this, he did believe that the dictatorship he was establishing was for the proletariat, right? It was for that working class. He believed that eventually it would lend itself to his interpretation of communism through Marx's document that would actually benefit the general population. Okay? He had good intentions. He just believed he had to establish a dictatorship in order to do this. Okay? Shortly after this, we have the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk. Okay, yeah. Obviously, can you say it? I can't say it either. Okay, but keep trying. Okay. So Lenin, in order to try and maintain control over the population, promised first that he would provide them with food, right? Because remember, we're talking about Russia in World War I in 1917. They were lacking what?
Supplies and
Good.
armament.
Supplies and
Land.
food. Why? Where was it all going? To the war, right?
Wait,
So
didn't
remember-
they issue like shipping the food to them though? Because the
That
the
was
rails were coming.
Pardon?
Didn't like they say they were having issue like moving this artillery and supplies?
Yeah. So first, supplies that were being produced were going to the war. Second, some of those supplies weren't even making it there, right? Just because of poor transportation and things like that, because they weren't able to build their infrastructure, right? They weren't able to build their transportation systems because Russia is suffering hardcore during World War I, right? So obviously, if you're fighting in World War I, right, and you also are just your population is starving, right? So the first thing Lenin said is, okay, I'm going to get you guys food. Okay. Second thing he said is we need peace, right? Because if we don't have peace, all of our supplies are still going to keep going to the war effort, right? So what you get is they actually signed a peace treaty with Germany, okay, in 1918. All right, so Russia technically pulls out of World War I in 1917, right, around the same time that the United States comes into the war. Okay, and we talked a little bit about yesterday at the end of class how many will say that that Germany was actually instrumental in getting Lenin back into Russia in time for the October Revolution, right? Because why did that benefit Germany?
Because Germany wants him to destroy
Of
Russia.
his.
Like making, like theoretically he's like putting the virus back in their own country and kept trying to kill them.